It's a very authentic city. You can't fake it here. You read through that. Being bold and being authentic go hand in hand. I only speak on what I know, so the music is a reflection of Chicago.
Femdot, I feel, is at the forefront of this turning point musically in Chicago.
I've always been interested in science as much as I've been interested in music. So going off to college, there was a little conflict between being a rapper or a scientist. That was the year Chance started blowing up and a lot of these rappers in the city started getting a look. And I'm like, man, I wonder what would have happened if I was home. In Chicago, if you're not around, people don't care. Like, you out of sight, out of mind. Like, if you're not home, that's cool and people will love you and whatever, but it hit different when they know you feel this too. I'm never missing my opportunity again. I grew up on the north side of Chicago, first generation Nigerian American, youngest of 4. My older brother was a rapper, so I wanted to do what he did. A lot of my style came from him. I was 6 years old, it was 2001. I did a verse for this song called What You Want to Be When You Grow Up for a community center. By the age of 10, I was recording on a Rock Band mic in like Audacity and destroying my parents' computer, using blank CDs to burn stuff and selling them for $1 in middle school. That helped a lot in terms of me just establishing my confidence in my actual art. In high school, I started a collective with my homie Charles Laws called Get Rich with Your Friends.
It kind of just was just a natural gravitation based off of knowing that we could really push each other to be better.
Charles actually brought me to my first real studio session, and it was with my homie Jabari, who's now been my engineer for like 10 years. Once we friends, like, you stuck with me.
There were a few things that drew me to Femdot's artistry: his flow, equal parts smooth and gritty, his approach to melody, and just his work ethic. Hip-hop in Chicago today is
Juice WRLD, No Name, Lil Durk, Chance.
I'm gonna say wide open.
There were a lot of eyes on us, obviously, after the emergence of drill, but we have such a large spectrum of different sounds that are all adding context to a larger story. Relatability is probably my superpower as an artist. I can tell a story that people can relate to, whether they've experienced it or not. I went to Penn State my freshman year of college, and I was focusing more on school. Back home, some of these other artists really were popping. I didn't come here to miss opportunities. I came back home because I felt that I missed one.
I remember on one of his first days back, he came by the crib and was just like, yo, I'm back in Chicago and I think I want to do this music thing.
I came back and finished at DePaul. I was doing school music and working full time. I was managing myself. I was able to like get myself to South by Southwest. I had like an official show, but I had an assignment due at 11:59 that day. I'm gonna get it done. So I literally got off stage, everyone's like drinking and turning up around me, and I'm just sitting on my laptop typing this lab report, not a paper, a lab report. We got graphs. I would have Thursday classes and bring my suitcase with me till I'm flying out right after, but I'll be back by Monday.
When I first met with Fem to actually manage him, he had a notebook filled with probably 5 years worth of music.
I have thousands of verses. I've now formed this Rolodex, and I'm picking songs that tell the story I want to tell. Like, this is a love song, or this is me going through XYZ. I had to be like that because I was in school working 40 hours a week. I didn't really have time to waste. So I would go through that Rolodex before I got to the studio. By the time I'm there, I'm already feeling confident because this is a reflection of me at this point. Now let me share it.
He's casting that vision to me verbally, but also sonically. So he knows exactly what he wants.
Albums are checkpoints of my life for me. I have like a idea, a concept, and I know, okay, I'm not able to do this right now. Like, I don't have the writing capacity, or I haven't had the life experience. There's a song called Crossroads that I wrote the first line for it when I was 17 and then finished the song when I was 19.
Each project, while it is a world of its own, it's part of a larger thread.
Fem's definitely a natural born leader because he makes you want to work hard. He also makes it fun to work with him.
It's a little village of people that all have their hand in my growth so far. We all take care of each other, break bread with each other. Everyone believes. Like, if my homies was around me for money, they would have left a little while ago. Because we all still trying to get it out the mud for real. Being independent, all of my money goes back into my career. I have had offers for labels. In terms of being bold in the music, that ability to literally do whatever the hell I want, outweighs a lot of things. My mom, she's involved in so many nonprofits, and seeing how selfless she is with her community is like, well, I should be that way too. 2018, we started a nonprofit called UPROXX Scholars. Proceeds to DePaul students at my alma mater, not just including funds, but also like gear to go back to school with.
We want to facilitate that and get that to these neighborhoods that we grew up in.
Right now, we're in the middle of Uptown at the UPROXX Scholars and Liz Flores and Play Together mural. I dropped 2 singles. Liz Flores then did her interpretation in art form.
I tell Femi all the time, being the child of Nigerian immigrants, right? You didn't know anybody, you just kept your head down, and you literally built it from the ground up, brick by brick. In Chicago,
they look at Chicago like a second city so often in comparison to New York or LA, and they say we don't have an industry here or whatever, and it's like, okay, cool, well, let's build one. I can go somewhere else, but I'm not from nowhere else.
no matter where we all are in the world, there's always gonna be that space and that camaraderie between each other to come back and continue to build on top of wherever we're at.
The future looks like allowing the scholars to be sustainable and touring the world, retiring my mother, to be able to sustain generations of my family off of the work I make and my friends and their families. I want, everything I do to change the lives of me and everybody around me.